Hey guys, Brian O'Day. I'm one of the pastors of Pillar Church of Jacksonville, which we are in Pillar Jax's building right now. I'm also executive director of Praetorian Project. And who are you?
Hi, Brian.
Hi, John.
I am John Tollison.
Yeah.
I am one of the pastors, elders at Pillar Church of Topsail down in Sneeds Ferry.
Sneeds Ferry, North Carolina,
Mhm.
Topsail, North Carolina. Okay. And you are about to be sent out from Pillar Topsail to plant a church. And we don't send church planters out by themselves. But you're leaving Pillar Topsail. You're leaving. Who is going with you?
Yeah, so going with me is
Even though he's already there.
he's already
Yeah.
there, right? It's
Yeah.
it's a little misleading, but a wonderful gentleman and his family, Jonathan Baggett and his wife Lindsay, their two sons, live in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where Pillar Topsail is sending us together, our
Yeah.
families together, to plant a Pillar Church in Fayetteville. And so they have been there actually for several years. They were a part of Pillar Church of Woodlawn previously, and were discipled there in church planting. And Jonathan and I have known each other, I get this wrong, I think since 2021,
Okay.
at least. No, yeah, early 2021 or late 2020 was the first time that we met. And so he's been a part of the project, part of the Word Partners group that we do here at Pillar Jax. And so that relationship actually has some roots that benefit us as we work together on this.
Yeah, so Jonathan came from Pillar Church of Woodlawn, which is in Alexandria, Virginia. You are being sent out from Pillar Church of Topsail here in North Carolina. Pillar Topsail is going to be the sending church, and you guys are linking up in Fayetteville. Public launch first half of 2025. Is that fair to say?
We're saying Easter 2025.
Easter 2025.
That's the goal.
Ish. Yeah. Not an exact science in this business, but yeah. So tell me about Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Fayetteville, North Carolina is outside of Fort Liberty, formerly Fort Bragg, which is a massive military installation. It is the largest military installation in the world.
So everybody puts on their prospectus largest military installation. So when you say that, you mean by personnel. Is that accurate for Liberty?
Actually, I think it's acreage.
Oh, really?
But I could be wrong. To be completely honest with you, this is why it would be helpful to have Jonathan here, because he actually lives there.
It has this.
You know, I'm the outsider coming in.
But it's a massive base. So how many
huge.
Uniformed personnel are stationed at Fort Liberty?
Yeah. I don't remember. I think it's 84,000, isn't it?
That sounds about right.
It's 84,000.
Yes, good.
I'm sorry about that.
And then lots of veterans, well, family members of those 80+ thousand uniformed service members. To get family members at any of these bases, you kind of add a half. So another 40,000 family members. Lots of veterans in Fayetteville. There's a lot. There's VA hospital, multiple VA, clinics and those types of things in the area, and so lots of veterans stay there.
Yeah.
And North Carolina is a great place to live, work, and play, right? And so that's good. Tell me about where's the church going to meet? Have you seen anything like that about where the church might start to gather? You seem pretty confident that we're going to launch on this day. You're getting ready to move your family. Jonathan's already there, so some things are in place. Like where would you gather a church like this?
Yeah. So, like I said, Jonathan has been there, and he uses the phrase "tilling the soil" for several years without a planting partner. And one of the things that has come from that is that he's on staff as a pastor at a church there, and made connections. And another church, this is a legacy church, what we call it, is Gethsemane Baptist Church. And they have about 8 or 9 living members still. And they connected with the church that he's at. And he really won their hearts pastorally and cared for them well. And they have voted to give Pillar Fayetteville their entire facility. And so we're going to be using this resource that God has blessed them with, that they want to bless Pillar Fayetteville with, and it's a brick and mortar, functioning church building with a sanctuary and a little childcare wing and a fellowship hall, and so we, if you have a little map of Fayetteville, there's downtown Fayetteville, there's the base. On camera, it's backwards, so this is not helpful, but it's good. Just to the northwest of downtown Fayetteville, just about 7 or 8 minutes.
Which is actually closer to most of the main gates of Fort Liberty.
I think it's 6 or 7 miles from the main gate.
Pretty close.
Really close.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, man, what a provision! God just paving the way in so many ways. Jonathan's patience, honestly, over the years to wait for things to start to be put in place for this church to become realization. And it's been cool to see over the past year or so a lot of those big pieces coming together to include the property. Okay, that's good. So when are you and your family moving?
I've been telling people the fall or October to January as the window. We've started the process of selling our home here, working with some realtors down there and stuff. And we're actually we have kind of a date of the end of October, October 28th. That's going to fluctuate a little bit, but that's kind of the ideal.
Yeah, and this is very normal. We throw dates on calendars, just to kind of create some movement in that direction, but we understand that, things change along the way, but that's good. Okay, so late fall, Halloween time frame to move your family. The Baggett's are already there. Some core team, planting team developments already happening. That'll get into full swing, and then looking to start gathering the church in the new year. That's exciting.
Yeah, we're excited.
So how can people be partnering with you guys to see this church come to fruition? And maybe before you answer that question, it's easy. Man, we've got John Tollison, who has been in Praetorian Project for a while, part of 2 Pillar churches. One of the pastors of one of them helped, on the planting team for Pillar Topsail. Jonathan Baggett has been part of one of our churches. He's now one of the pastors of another church in Fayetteville. He's from Fayetteville. Y'all have been given a property. You've got some people. So there's one side of this, man, you don't need any help. But we know this thing, despite all those things and God's provision in all those ways, there is still much work to be done. There is still a whole lot of things that need to come together between now and the spring. So how can all the folks out there, potentially billions of people watching
that watch this,
potentially billions of people, how could they partner with Pillar Fayetteville?
I mean, the first thing is prayer. To take this work that God has laid on the heart of Jonathan first, and then roped me into. My wife Maggie and I really feel a thrill for how God has called us into this thing in a unique way, and we know that there's going to be some challenges that we certainly cannot foresee. There are already some challenges we think we can foresee, just spiritually and physically, and so for the saints to take this before the throne is of the utmost importance. One of the things that happened while Jonathan and I and our families were visiting in Fayetteville, we were walking downtown and we were all these nice shops and it's cool downtown area. They've cleaned it up a lot. Actually, it's it looks good and healthy and vibrant. And we came to this storefront that as we kept stepping closer to the glass window, realized more and more and more that everything about it was satanic. Just purely, there were skulls hanging from there was a casket in the front, and it was all about worshiping death, and this ritualistic sort of pagan store, right? And I just looked at Jonathan and I was like, oh no, Satan's already here.
Right.
Like there are things there. That's maybe just that's just a story, right? But the reality is that there are churches in the area in Fayetteville that are preaching the gospel, that are bringing the lost in and into the family of God. But it is a broken city.
Yeah.
And there is a huge need there. And there are big differences between where my family and I have lived for the last 7 years and this place that we're going to go move to.
Right.
And we're excited to see how God is going to use that. But we're a little frightened. And so, for the project to pray for this endeavor is of the utmost importance. Yeah. But then,
give us a little more sense as we pray. Fort Liberty, what are the big, obviously there's lots of different soldiers there doing lots of different things, but what are kind of the big units that are there? What type of base is it?
Yeah. There are a lot of schoolhouses,
right?
A lot of training, like
lots of in and out.
Most soldiers end up there at some point, whether for their initial training or for something that follows, them in their career. The 82nd Airborne is housed there,
which is
prestigious.
Well,
huge.
Yeah. I had a buddy once who was part of the 82nd Airborne Division, and he would say, on paper, there are 10 divisions in the United States Army. In reality, there's only one. And he was, so it is like, and he was talking about the 82nd Airborne Division. But this is one of those divisions that, similar to Marine Corps, of like, when America needs somebody to go like now, they send the 82nd. They're like, it is a rapidly deployable, go anywhere at any time type of force.
Yeah,
so
one size fits all, multifaceted tool. And there's also some of the selection courses for special operations, right? For Army Special Forces, Army SF. And then a special operations group, several groups, right? That train there. And so that's part of why Fayetteville, or Fort Liberty is so big. Is like some of it is like airfields and jump zones and ranges. Like it just it's just this massive beast of a piece of land that they use for all these things.
And so special forces like deploy anytime, so often can't tell their family where they're going, why they're going there. Lots of quick deployments, fast deployments all over the world. Really challenging deployments, really challenging lifestyle on many ways. So huge challenges on the family, huge challenges on the service members. So that's good. So just when you're praying for Pillar Fayetteville, like that's the type of place they're ministering to. That's the type of people you guys are trying to reach. So that's good. It's similar if you're kind of paying attention at home. Pillar Church of Crestview, Florida, is outside of Eglin Air Force Base, but also there's a big Army Special Operations group down there as well. And so, we're starting to see that and kind of be in some of those pockets across the project.
At the end of the day, it's families, it's unbelievers, it's Christians, right? But those stressors do present a unique pastoral environment where especially where credibility matters a lot, and trust is maybe a little bit more challenging to get these people to actually trust you and invest in what they should be investing in as Christians if they are Christians, or open their heart and their mind to the gospel.
That's good.
So,
okay, how else can we be helping?
There's availability for financial partnership, right? We have set a goal for 2024 of $175,000 in fundraising. I was on the phone with Jonathan just an hour ago, and we're right at about 81,000 that's like in the bank or pledged, which is fantastic. Very exciting.
Man, now I'm doing math on the recording. So like 90K for the rest of 2024. Like mostly these will probably be one time.
Because we're late in the fiscal year, we're reaching out to our supporters really for the first time since we've been a partner team, right? Jonathan has some connections and support that have supported him as he was the reconnaissance mission, right? Phase 1 into the area, and then so we're reaching back out to some of those people, and then I'm bringing in as many connections as I can, and we're asking churches especially to consider a one-time partnership, donation, gift, whatever, in 2024, and then to consider something regular, ongoing
contributions for 2025.
Right.
Great.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. So where we publish this, I'll try to link to your prospectus, which if you've not seen one of these before, it's kind of like a business plan of here's what we plan to do in the church plant. Understand, it could change, but it has some of the financial data on there as well. Some of the stats for Fayetteville and Fort Liberty. And so we'll do that, and a link to just partner with these guys financially. And what's that going to go for? So that type of this 2024 money, 2025 money is, ongoing support of the church early on. But what about 2024 money?
Yeah, in 2024, a decent amount of it is focused on the building that we've been given. And so some of the things that we've already started working on, to just get it up to code, right? It is pretty expensive, and it's not the kind of thing that we can just do ourselves. And
things like I've been to the building,
right?
Things like a new roof, Things like HVAC units that don't work,
right?
That need to come up to legitimate. If we're going to gather the church here, we need these things to happen. This isn't for you to,
plumbing and electrical, even like a little foundation. Maybe like there's really one crack that we kind of look at every time. We're like, we'll get to that.
Right. Really important, but boring stuff. But honestly, so much of the work we do in the kingdom is really behind the scenes, what might look like boring stuff. And so partnering in that is actually partnering to provide a space, a safe space, a comfortable space for people to come and hear the gospel, maybe for the first time, or hear the gospel with new ears in their particular season of suffering that they're in, whatever God might have going on in their lives, to bring them there to hear the gospel. That partnership is creating that space, creating that opportunity to do so. So that's awesome.
Yeah, we're thrilled. We're really excited about what we have been blessed with already, and the projects that we've been able to start on the building. We lament in some ways that the space takes up so much headspace as we prepare, because there's other things we would rather be thinking about. And primary on that list really is the core team, right? We're the future members, the first future members of the church, and want to be able to shepherd those people really well through the next several months and into the launch of the church plant, and that takes that takes some significant energies for guys who are doing it for the first time. And
that's a good word. So one thing that I want you, we all want you doing that, shepherding the flock, building the planting team, doing all of those things, preaching the gospel, preparing music to sing with the saints, all those things. That's what we want you to focus on. So people partnering with us financially, people praying for those finances to come into place, really does get all that out of your headspace so that can be done, so that you can move on to the work that you're actually called to. So that's a good word. Cool.
Yeah, we're excited. We have our first meeting with people that have committed to be a part of the launch of the church, the core team, on this coming Saturday. And so we're be praying for that as we prepare for that and think about that, and start to see where people are coming from, and like all the things that go into this, like because Jonathan has a different relationship with these people, and I'm like the outsider,
Right.
who they haven't, gotten to know nearly as well. And then there's some people from this side of North Carolina that, Lord willing, will come with me, right? Or travel the highway in the same direction. And so, yeah, we're excited about that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Let me zoom out a little bit for Eastern North Carolina. We started to get some people together on some Zoom calls and started doing some things here, realizing that there's a lot of military in Eastern North Carolina, basically, east of Raleigh, if you're familiar with that, and with Fort Liberty, Camp Lejeune, the multiple sides of Camp Lejeune, Cherry Point, and Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. There's a lot of military in North Carolina. And by God's grace, Pillar Jacksonville planted 2013. Pillar Topsail, man, now I'm doing years on the recording, but Pillar Topsail in 2020 into 2021. Pillar Havelock last year outside of Cherry Point, last year outside of Cherry Point Marine Corps Air Station. Lord willing, you guys in Fayetteville in 2025, and we're prayerfully looking at Seymour Johnson in Goldsboro, North Carolina in the future. And so it's just cool. Like when we move to an area, we actually just start trying to multiply churches to reach that whole region with the gospel and multiply ourselves there. So, man, it's really exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's thrilling.
If you've stayed with us to this point, I encourage you to stop at this point. And before you move on with the rest of your day, pray for John Tullison and Jonathan Baggett. It's really easy. They both almost have the same name. Pray for their families and pray for the future Pillar Church of Fayetteville. Thank you guys so much for your partnership. Thank you for your prayers. I love you guys.